Between midnight and dawn, something shifts. The world goes quiet. Even time seems to hold its breath. That's when the strange things happen. When sleep doesn't protect you, and what's watching in the dark finally takes a step forward. Tonight on Whispers Between Worlds, we bring you 3 creepy, true stories that only could have happened. In the dead of the night, we upload daily. And if you're hearing this after midnight, don't look at the doorway.
Story 1. She stood in the doorway. From 3 creepy dead of the night horror stories. Claire and Eli weren't the type to scare easily. They laughed at horror movies, left the closet door open at night, even joked about ghosts when they bought their first house, a small fixer-upper at the edge of a quiet neighborhood. The place was old but solid. Hardwood floors, a wraparound porch, and a narrow upstairs hallway that led to the master bedroom. Claire loved it, called it peaceful. For the first few nights, it was. Then she started waking up. Same time every night. 3:12 mat with a start. No jolt just eyes open. Wide awake no reason. At first, she thought it was just new home stress. A bad dream. Maybe she was hearing sounds the house made on its own pipes, knocking, wood settling, all that stuff. But the third night was different. That night, she woke to something more than silence. It was awareness. Like her brain had skipped sleep and jumped straight into panic. She couldn't explain it, but she knew she wasn't alone in the room. She turned her head slowly, careful not to wake Eli beside her. And there, just outside the open bedroom door, stood a figure, still tall, just barely visible in the hallway's shadow. No face, no details, just the shape of a person standing in the doorway, unmoving. She blinked, it didn't vanish. It didn't move, it just watched. The next morning, she tried to forget it, told herself it was sleep paralysis or her imagination playing tricks. But the next night, it happened again. Same time, same place. And this time, she swore it was closer. She finally told Eli, expecting him to laugh, maybe call her dramatic. He didn't. He got quiet. Too quiet. Then he said, I've been seeing it too. Over the next few nights, they tried everything: sage, salt lines, even motion sensor lights in the hallway. Nothing worked. Every night at 3:12, the power in their bedroom would glitch. Clocks reset, batteries drained, and the figure would return always in the doorway. Sometimes standing, sometimes crouching, but never coming in, not yet. One night, Claire tried something bold. She got up, stepped toward the doorway. The second her foot hit the hall floor, her body locked up, cold shot through her chest. Her knees buckled. The thing didn't move, didn't flinch. It just waited. She backed away, got into bed. It vanished seconds later. Then came the worst night. Claire woke again at 3:12, but something was different. Eli was sitting upright in bed, his back to her, staring straight ahead at the open doorway. Is it here? She whispered. He didn't answer. She reached out to touch his shoulder. He turned to face her and smiled. Only it wasn't Eli's smile. His mouth stretched too wide. His eyes looked empty, not asleep, not awake, something in between. He stood up and walked to the doorway, stopped, and without turning back, he said, "It wants you now." Then he collapsed like a puppet with its strings cut. The next morning, he remembered nothing. Claire packed a bag that day, booked a hotel, told Eli she needed space, time to think. But that night in the hotel room, she woke up at exactly 3:12 a.m. The room was pitch black. The digital clock on the nightstand blinked dot, then went dark. And in the far corner of the room by the curtain, something moved. She sat up, heart in her throat. It was there, dot inside the room. Not in the doorway anymore, dot closer than ever. And this time it spoke, in a voice that sounded like her own, but hollowed out. "You brought me with you." She never went back to the house. Eli stopped returning her texts 2 weeks later. She tried therapy, meds. Moving again didn't matter. Every night at 3:12 a.m., no matter where she is, Claire wakes up. And every time something is standing just outside the door. Closer, dot, and closer. And sometimes when she's too afraid to open her eyes, it breathes right next to her ear and whispers, "Almost home."
That was just the first shadow, but the dead of night doesn't stop there.
Story 2. The Man in My Driveway. I used to love night shifts. No traffic, dot, no customers. Just me, my truck, and the open road. Delivery routes always went faster after midnight. Most places were closed, so nobody slowed me down. I could be in and out in record time. But that night changed everything. It started with a simple reroute. One of the stops was canceled, and dispatch gave me a new drop-off residential, isolated, no big deal. GPS marked it as a gravel driveway outside of a place called Linden Hollow. No lights, no neighbors, just a single house deep off a narrow road. By the time I pulled up, it was almost 2:50 a.m., and as soon as I turned off my headlights, I saw him. A man, standing at the edge of the driveway, facing the house, not moving. At first, I thought he might be the homeowner, except he wasn't waiting for me. He never turned around. Didn't flinch when the truck doors slammed. He just stood there. I walked toward the house with the package in hand, tried to ignore him. Maybe he was just out late, waiting for someone inside. But as I passed him, I glanced sideways. His eyes were open, wide, but they weren't looking at the house. They were staring into the woods, unblinking. His mouth was slightly open, like he wanted to scream but forgot how. And I swear to you, his pupils were white. I picked up my pace, dropped the box on the porch, knocked once out of courtesy, no answer. I turned around and the man was gone. But something else had changed. The truck's interior lights were on. I hadn't left them that way. Then I saw it. A handprint on the passenger side window. Small, greasy, fingers too long, and inside the cab. The dome light flickered. I didn't hesitate. I ran to the truck, jumped in, and locked the doors, started the engine. The lights on the dash glitched, flashing red like warning beacons. Then every warning message came on at once. Door ajar, engine fault, brake system failure, and through the windshield I saw movement. The man was back, but not at the edge of the driveway anymore. He was standing just beyond the hood, closer this time. And this time, he was looking right at me. His jaw was still open, but now it looked like it had dislocated, hanging unnaturally low, and his pupils? Gone. Just cloudy sockets that shimmered in the moonlight like fish eyes. I hit reverse, gunned it out of the driveway, gravel flying. I didn't stop until I reached the main road. Didn't breathe right until I passed 3 gas stations and saw other cars again. I told dispatch what happened. They said I must have hallucinated from lack of sleep. But here's the part I never told them. When I finally got home, just after 4 a.m., I went straight to the shower. Tried to forget what I saw. But as I walked past my front window, my porch light flickered on. I peeked through the curtain, and at the bottom of my driveway was him. Same twisted face, same jaw, same white eyes. He hadn't followed me. He'd found me. I moved 2 months later. New job, new city. Changed my truck. Never drove nights again. But some things stick. Every now and then, usually around 3 a.m., I'll catch my dog staring at the front door. Tail low, ears pinned back, and once, just once, I found a single greasy handprint on the inside of my living room window. I don't deliver anymore, but sometimes I still get the feeling someone's waiting in my driveway.
That was just the first shadow, but the dead of night doesn't stop there.
Story 3. I found her standing over me. My girlfriend Liz had always sleepwalked. Not every night, and not in the cliche way. No arms out zombie stuff. She'd just quietly get up, wander into the hallway, maybe mumble something, then go back to bed like nothing happened. Her mom said she used to do it as a kid, too harmless. Just don't wake her, they all said. It'll confuse her brain. We joked about it, until it stopped being funny. It started small. I'd find her in the kitchen at 2 or 3 in the morning, staring into the fridge with the light off. Once I caught her standing in the bathroom in the dark facing the mirror, not moving, not even blinking. But the weirdest part? She never remembered any of it. Even when I took a photo, she'd laugh it off in the morning. But me? I started locking the bedroom door, just in case. One night I woke up cold. Blanket on the floor. Room dead silent. Clock read 3:07 a.m. I rolled over and saw that Liz was gone. I listened. Nothing. No footsteps. No door creaks. Then I noticed the bedroom door was still locked. But she wasn't in the room. She couldn't have left. And that's when I realized she was standing right beside the bed. I didn't hear her move. Didn't feel her climb out. She was just there, barefoot, still, breathing slow, eyes wide open, staring directly down at me. I whispered, "Liz?" No response. Her lips moved slightly. She whispered something so soft I couldn't catch it. "Say that again," I said. She bent down, leaned in close, and whispered, "It's not me." I turned on the lamp and she collapsed. Dead weight, like her strings had been cut. I checked her pulse. She was fine, still breathing. She woke up seconds later, confused, shivering. She didn't remember anything. We tried to laugh it off, told ourselves it was just a weird sleep episode. But from that night on, the sleepwalking changed. She didn't just wander anymore. She watched. I'd wake up and see her sitting on the edge of the bed, facing away, or crouched by the window, whispering. Once I found her holding my phone upside down, staring at the blank lock screen like it was showing her something I couldn't see. And her voice, it wasn't hers anymore. Soft dot flat, like someone speaking through her. The last night it happened, I woke up and saw her by the door. She was facing the wall, fingers twitching at her sides, head tilted slightly, like she was listening to something I couldn't hear. I called her name. She didn't move. I stood up, walked over, gently touched her shoulder. She turned around, but it wasn't her face. Still Liz's body, but the expression was off. Too still, too calm. Her eyes were wrong. She smiled tight, empty, and said, "I'm done watching. It's your turn now." I blacked out. Woke up the next morning in the hallway. No memory of how I got there. But Liz was gone. Not missing, gone. No trace. Her clothes, her toothbrush, her car keys, all there. But no signs of struggle. No exit footage from the apartment cams. Just gone. That was 3 months ago. The cops gave up. Her family thinks she snapped and ran. But I still wake up at 3:07 a.m. every night. Every single night. And I swear to God, sometimes I feel breath on my face before I open my eyes. And sometimes I hear her voice soft and flat whisper, "Now it's your turn."
3 stories. 3 reminders that the night doesn't just bring sleep. It brings things we weren't meant to see. Maybe you've felt it before. That pressure in the room, when you wake up for no reason, and something's already watching. This is Whispers Between Worlds. We upload every night, because the dark doesn't wait, and neither do we. Sleep tight, if you can.